Ryan Levesque here, the #1 best-selling author of the book Ask, and I'm here with my guest, Mr. Jay Facette. Jay, say hello, my man.
Hello, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. So listen, the reason why I wanted to do this interview is in a very short amount of time, I'm going to be with Jay speaking on stage with him at his event, Mastermind to Millions Live. And the reason why I am so excited about being at this event is because Jay is someone that I've learned a ton from when it comes to building our mastermind. And so, of course, you're familiar with our next level mastermind, but what some people aren't as familiar with is our elite inner circle mastermind. It's an offline, very high level mastermind. And I was an online guy, right? Like so many of us here, I did a lot of work online, and I learned so much from Jay on how to translate our audience, this tribe, and build a very lucrative, a very profitable offline mastermind, which is something that, frankly, I love doing. It's easy, it's low tech, and it's a lot of fun. So Jay, let me ask you a question. For someone who has any sort of online presence, and whatever that might be, it might be small, it might be large, what would you say to that person in terms of, is it possible to take that online audience and build an offline, very high level mastermind? Is that within everyone's reach, or do you have to have a certain type of business model? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, number one, great question. And I believe that it is within everybody's reach. And the reason I believe that is that I have helped people position masterminds, everything from nonprofit church groups to automotive dealerships, to coaches and authors, to specific content trainers and content experts. And I have yet to see where the power of community, support, and engagement of the right people cannot create quantum leaps forward for everyone. So, my thing, and when I'm talking to people who have great online tribes, is, goodness gracious, we just need to add one simple piece to the business model, which is take the people who like you, love you, want more of you in the digital domain and bring them closer to you with intimacy, relationships, and support. And generally speaking, we can, if you're good at what you do and people do like you, love you, and want more of you, we can put a premium offer that knocks it out of the park, that makes a significant, in fact, in many cases, huge, meaningful difference to your bottom line. There's actually I know you've done it in terms of your elite mastermind. I've been doing it for 30 years in a variety of different industries. Dan Martell, who's also a member here, yes, and I think he's a member of your elite mastermind.
He was actually a guest speaker at our elite mastermind.
Oh, fantastic. He's one of my favorite people on planet Earth. He's going to be at Mastermind to Millions live as well. But, after a little positioning with him and some of his stuff, I think that the math from what I could tell is like $500,000 in less than 90 days. Yeah. So when we're talking about this online, offline piece, I get that people think that it's just easier to be hiding behind a computer, or it's easier to send an email, all the rest of it. But the honest God truth is there's people on that list who you would love to serve, who you will love to serve. And that step to the offline, face-to-face, heart-to-heart, belly-to-belly piece is one of the greatest breakthroughs in the universe. And I just love serving and supporting people to do that. I get carried away.
So why would someone, so there's like a million things we could do in our business, right? It's like, we're torn in a million different directions. Do we do, set up a podcast? Do we do Facebook ads? Do we, do a launch, all the things that we're being, build a membership site. Why should you build a why do an offline mastermind over some of those other things? So like, I'm just thinking someone's got the whiteboard like I have right here, all the little things that we want to do in our business. And on that list, maybe at the bottom of the list is, set up a mastermind. Why should that go to the top of the list?
Great question. So number one, it's low tech and it can be incredibly fast. And there are, first and foremost, we don't need to master a launch sequence. We don't need a launch manager. We don't need 17,000 JV partners. What we really need to do is to make a very specific offer to the people who are already engaged with us and interested in us, because you and I had this conversation earlier. There are people who want to buy a solution at $5. There's people who want to buy a solution at $2,000. There's people who want to buy a solution at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And the reality is this. Generally speaking, there's 3 to 5% of your list right now that is looking for greater intimacy, that doesn't want to fool around with a stupid online program, that wants to say, hey, Ryan, I'm working on this little project here for JVology. Can you please tweak me about my bucket survey? And to get the wisdom from the creator of the process, to get the wisdom from what I'm going to call a high-level peer network group that really is bringing all of themselves to the group. Because here's the thing that people misunderstand time and again. And it's very simple. Together, we are better. And if you can put together a group of people that come together and share the 4 elements of a real great mastermind, and we teach this in great depth and detail, Mastermind to Millions Live. We want them to share their network, their resources, their wisdom, and their experience. Mm-hmm. And in the right culture, what happens, and when we come together, is that we leapfrog one another such that we create in days, weeks, and months what might have been months, years, or never.
Yeah.
And there's a speed of application and integration plus profitability that is unparalleled. You just can't, there isn't a faster, easier, more joyful way to scale, in my humble opinion.
Totally. And I just did some quick math, and I'm thinking, someone listening to this, they might have a small list and say, well, is it really worth bothering putting something like this together? But the math, the way it works out is if you've got a list of 100 people, right? An email list of 100 people, an audience of 100 people. On that list, there's probably 3 to 5 human beings that would pay you a large sum of money. So the way the math works out in our business is we've got a book, right? That is a book that you can buy on Amazon for $10, $15, depending on what they're selling it for. And that is a great entry point into our world of the Ask method. Next level up, we have an online masterclass. It's a $2,000 training program. It's an online experience. And then we have a $35,000, soon to be $40,000 a year, high level inner circle elite mastermind. So you just do the math, and literally 20 times what someone would pay for a $2,000 online training program, people sign up. And you think, well, $2,000, isn't that, that's the peak. Why would someone want to spend more money than that? Well, what's interesting, to your point that you brought up earlier, is we have individuals who apply to be part of our inner circle mastermind who actually do not buy our online program. They haven't. We do big launches. We do millions of dollars a year in these launches. People who see it, they got a million emails. Like I'll say it how it is. They get banged over the head with the Facebook ad. They have a million opportunities to buy. Right? There's not that they didn't know it was there, and they say no. Mm-hmm. And then the following week we say, or we also have this other opportunity. It's $40,000 a year instead of $2,000. Would you like that instead? And there are people on our list who say, yes, that's what I want. I want the highest level. I want whatever the everything that you got, that's the thing that I want. And it's true in every business.
I currently have about 53 people in our lead program, and it's lead accelerate your influence and your income, designed to help people over 12 months position and launch premium masterminds and build their tribe and influence. Yeah. So out of that number, about 41, maybe 42, if I went back to check, didn't buy the Launch Your Mastermind 90-Day Bootcamp. They went directly to the longer term support that they knew they needed, the community that was required for them to knock it out of the park. So, if you're sitting there, and again, people have this misperception of need this monumentally big list. If you're in the range of a couple of hundred people that you have created value for, that they like you, that they trust you, you've knocked it out of the park, and you are not running a mastermind, you are leaving in like strong 6 figures and above on the table for some of the most joyful, fun work in the universe. Yeah. Nice wine, beautiful locations. You were saying Puerto Rico, we've done everything from South Africa to Hawaii to Northern Canada. Like, just think great wine, beautiful locations with people that you would pay to hang out with.
Right. You. It's really awesome. And, I want to stress the low tech side of things. I know a lot of people in our world, they get hung up on the tech, right? And what's fascinating, but it's telling, is that it's actually, believe it or not, it takes less work to get someone to sign up for a $40,000 program than it does for a $2,000 program. Often it's just the way it is. You need, we have, a simple video with a buy button or an application button at the bottom. That's it. There's no big funnel or anything like that. There's something that's very interesting about these huge amounts of money. I literally just had a conversation with someone who did a project with Stanford University. It was a big project. When I say big, literally a $40 million contract, $40 million with Stanford University. And you know what he did to close that deal? 2 flights.
Picked up the phone?
Yeah. 2 flights to Stanford from the East Coast, and closed the deal on the second trip. 2 meetings closed a $40 million deal. Now think about how many touch points you have to have in your business selling. You get the lead magnet, and people come in and they buy a $15 product, a $7 tripwire, and all these things. And it's a ton of work. It's just funny the way it works. And so I can speak to that. our elite mastermind, it's, again, like I said, it's $35,000 a year now. It's scaling to $40,000 a year at the beginning of the year. And we have a very simple process. It's low tech to run. We get together 3 times a year in person, locations that I want to hang out in. We have a weekly call, just a simple call with the group, and then a private online group. And that's basically it. That's the deliverable.
I so love that. Now I've seen you. Now I want to raise a red flag for people as well, because on the one hand, it's like, Jesus, Murphy, there is money lying around on the ground that you just haven't picked up if you have a tribe and you don't have a mastermind. That's true. Yeah. But here's the red flag. I've watched you in the classroom, and you are an exceptional both teacher and facilitator. Mm-hmm. By the way, most people aren't both. They're one or the other.
I appreciate that coming from you. I didn't embarrass myself with you in the room. That's good.
Oh, you did. I had such a fabulous time. I got to tell you. The key piece, though, is just because you have a great tribe and they love you and they love your online program, there are a whole bunch of things that you need to know. You know, like so what we teach and so I just want people to it's like, okay, I'm going to do a mastermind. Say Yahoo, but I got to tell you some things that you have to master. This is the first 3 to get it launched. Is number 1, you have to have perfect positioning. You need to know exactly the promise of the in-person piece, which is likely going to be different than your online piece. Right. What the promise is, what it's going to mean for them, what's going to be different for them, what is that value proposition? And that positioning has to be nailed. Then the next is you have to be the leader they want to follow. And sometimes there's a whole bit of personal evolution that needs to transpire for you to step up to that game. And then you have to fill the mastermind. And we have a module called Fill Your Mastermind with Ease. So that's the easy part. But then you still have to master facilitating skills. You have to master commitment, getting it and keeping it, because like all things, it wanes. Yeah. And you've got to be able to do those things. And if you can do those, you're going to have a long-term sustainable mastermind. And that's what we do at Mastermind to Millions Live. And that's why I'm so thrilled you're coming to speak with us. And that's why I really want anyone who has the remote thought of I should do a mastermind, get your ass to Scottsdale and come play with us, because it's, we're simply the industry leaders in training this, and you deserve to pick up that money off the floor and put it in your pocket and to serve your tribe at a better level and a more significant level and to have fun with it. Like when people get this, it's like, I was working that hard for good. And it sounds like it's easy sending some emails, but the truth of the matter is a whole lot easier sitting around in a beautiful place with people that you love, respect, and admire and want to serve.
It's honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's like, I really enjoy that part of our business, but you're right, Jay, there is somewhat of a formula to it. And it's, there's a leap that you need to make from going from this is something I want to do to, okay, like give me the step-by-step how to do that. Mm-hmm. And, for anyone who knows me, I am pretty selective in terms of the events that I travel to. I've got 2 young kiddos. It's the holidays right now. And, it's tough to make time for anything. I get it. Right. Especially, in America, you're between American Thanksgiving and you've got Christmas on the other side of things, and you got just a lot of stuff going on right now. So I get it. But I made a commitment to be at this event, and I've had this event in my calendar for 6 months now, because I wanted to be there, both for the opportunity to share what's worked for us, but also the opportunity to learn, because, I've been running masterminds for almost 5 years now. And my first mastermind was simple. It was 5 people, 6 people in a room. And we had no food, nothing. We got together for a day, and people paid a few $1,000s, and I said, oh, this is fun. And then it's evolved from there, so, my mantra, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going. And the guy to get it going with is this guy here, Jay. And so, I'm going to be at this event, Mastermind to Millions Live. It's in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's December 2nd through the 4th. I'm going to be there. I'll have the opportunity to be on stage, on one of the days. But the rest of the time, I'm going to be there as a student, as a learning. And so I'd love for you to, to be there with me if you're watching this right now, and like, let's hang out, let's learn together. And let's have a really good time. So, I highly recommend that you come. I'm not, earning anything from sending you, recommending that you come here. I'll be speaking on stage, and, it's just for you to learn and for you to be there. I just believe in this. And I know Jay and, your partner, Joshua, you guys you decided to do something pretty cool for my group, with the terms of the ticket. I think it's like
It's regular $997, and the NLM tribe gets it for $197 for general admission. And if they want to do VIP, which honest to God, you should, you're going to get greater access to brilliant people like Ryan and everyone else who's going there. That's usually $1497, and it's $397. So, the honest to God truth is, if you guys,
it's a no-brainer. It's just like, look at your dates, try to make it work. Phoenix is pretty easy airport to get in and out of. It's Southwestern hub in the United States. So Southwest flies direct, and and there are a couple other airlines that fly direct. So it's a really easy airline to get to. If you're in the Northeast right now, I mean, it's snowing as we record this, where my folks are up in the Northeast, and Phoenix is like awesome at this time of year. So great weather, great people, great experience. And it's one of these things that, like, the ROI is so damn simple on this, because you do the math, you say, okay, maybe I can't do a $35,000 a year mastermind. Maybe I can't do a 25,000. Maybe I can't do 20. Maybe I can't do 10. But I could, maybe a couple $1,000 mastermind. Okay, great. So you do a $5,000 a year mastermind, to get started, and you get 3 people in the group. You do the math. It's $15,000. And
I got to share a story on that, Ryan. So there's a gentleman named Shadid who was at our last event. And brilliant guy. You can tell he's got a good heart. But he'd failed at launching a mastermind a couple of times. And it was like, I tried, it just didn't click. So there's an exercise that we do on Saturday that's called the filtering script. Mm-hmm. And it is part of this being a gatekeeper and clarifying the promise and defining who it's for. So we do the exercise, and we go not on lunch, we go on a 30-minute break. And he came back, and he had 3 members at the number you just said, at $5,000. He made $15,000 in a 30-minute break just using one of the tools that we teach. And I guess that's the other thing I should say, is that I know there's a lot of events that are pitch fests. Yeah. This is not that. We have some highly selected people, such as you, who are going to come and share their wisdom. And if somebody wants to do something with them, they can. But this is really about getting the thing done. You will leave with your positioning done. You will leave with the promise clear. You will leave with the target of your tribe. And if you're as active as Shadid, you'll leave with cash in your pocket.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm telling you, it's one of these things where it's like, you work so hard, fight tooth and nail to sell these low ticket products. And then you have these fans that are in your world that you don't even know exist until you make this offer, right? Mm-hmm. They don't raise their hand and say, hey, I wish you would do this. But when you do sell something like this, you do make a mastermind available, it's almost like they come out of the woodwork, and it's like, people who will say, oh, I've been following you for months or years or whatever. And this just sounded really great. So I'm a huge fan. It's some of the most enjoyable parts of running our business is the opportunity to serve our mastermind members. It's just a lot of fun. And, for anyone who has a mastermind, I highly recommend that you come here to take your mastermind to the next level. And for someone who's, do I do it? Maybe do it. Maybe it's something you do this year, next year, like, come to the event. I think you'll be, convinced of the power of this.
Can I actually just share one part about that in terms of timing?
Totally.
December is it's a tough time, in all seriousness, for exactly as you had just described. Right. I'll tell you why we choose this is that if you get your positioning nailed the first month of December and begin to do this strategic reach out, your mastermind is up and running in the first quarter of 2017. Yeah. And for any of you thinking of, it's like, could I add it? Maybe it's a mid-year thing. It's like, no, get the support that you need, get the positioning stuff handled, and get your butt in gear December 2nd through 4th, and mid-January, end of January, you're going to be in your first mastermind meeting if you hustle. So we choose that even though it's a little taxing, but we choose it very deliberately for you can hit the ground running in the first quarter. And that's what we want for you.
And it's the perfect time of year for so many reasons. People at the beginning of every new year, people are looking to make a change, right? Every single year we have people. I just literally had a conversation with someone today who said, I'm looking for a mastermind. And we had a conversation to explore whether our mastermind was right for him. Because what happens is at the beginning of the new year, the end of the year, people are saying, I want to make next year the year that I level up or whatever. So your audience right now is the best time, like the best time to launch a mastermind. You just need a few sort of, step-by-step tactical pieces to have success with it. And Jay's the guy. Like, this is, like you said, you spent the last, 10, 15 years.
30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. I don't believe that.
And I still have hair.
I know. I'm like, this dude he must have been doing this when he was like 5 years old then, because
by the way, I'm 50 in January.
Oh my God. Whenever you tell me that, dude, I'm like, no freaking way. You have so much energy for, You could easily be 30 years old.
Thank you. I'm going to stick with that.
Jay's the guy to learn from. He's a great family man. He's someone that I believe in, and so can't recommend it highly enough. If you haven't already, use the link in this post, in this page, wherever you are right now. And when you're in, leave a comment, let me know, and let's make sure that we connect. Mastermind to Millions Live, December 2nd through December 4th in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm going to be there, and I look forward to seeing you there as well. Jay, my man, take care. Have a great day, and I look forward to talking again soon.
Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye.